Today we're making a homemade turkey or chicken pot pie. I say that because you can use either one that you want. First things first, we're going to heat our pot over medium high heat. I added in about a tablespoon of olive oil and 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. If you have only salted butter, that is perfectly okay. You just want to adjust the amount of salt that you add later when we season everything. So once our pan is nice and hot, butter is melted, we're going to add in 1 small onion diced, and then I added in about 1 to 2 celery stalks that are also diced. It's really up to you about how much of the onion and celery that you want in your mixture. So we just want to allow this to cook for about 3 minutes. If you need to cut your heat down to medium, that's fine. You don't want your vegetables to burn, you just want them to soften. So after about 3 minutes, I add in another 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. We're going to allow that to melt. Just give it a good stir like I'm doing here. And then I'm going to add in 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Now this is a roux that we're making. This is going to be the thickening agent for our pot pie. So you want to give this a good stir. Allow your roux to cook for about 1 to 2 minutes. You don't want it to brown. You just want to cook the raw flour taste out. So 1 to 2 minutes is generally perfect. And this is what it starts to look like. So see how this looks. Everything is mixing together. The flour is cooked a little bit. It's mixed in with the fat, which was that butter and the olive oil, and we are good to go. So now we're going to start to add in our liquids. We're going to start with 2 1/4 cup of low sodium chicken broth. Now you do want to make sure that you stir the entire time that you're adding your chicken broth. This is going to prevent lumps from forming. So you just want to stir and see how nice and smooth everything still is. And once our chicken broth is in, we're going to add in 1 1/4 cup of milk. And we're going to also stir the entire time that we are adding our milk to our pot. So this is coming together. It's looking good. And don't worry, it will thicken as it cooks. So just going to have to give it some time. So now that this is all mixed in, we're going to add in 1 to 1.5 cup of frozen peas and carrots. It's up to you how much you want. And then I have some cooked turkey here. It's both white and dark meat. You can also use chicken. It's totally up to you. I happen to have frozen some turkey from Thanksgiving, so I wanted to use it up. So I'm using turkey, but if you want to use chicken, just cook your chicken breast and cut it up, and you will be good to go. You just want to give this a good stir. Make sure everything is well combined, and we are going to season it up. Don't worry. This is coming together. All right, so now we're going to season it up. I started with a half teaspoon each of salt, pepper, celery seed, and dry sage. Then you want to taste it. If you want to add more salt, more pepper, more sage, more celery seed. If you want to add some garlic powder, onion powder, it's really, really up to you. But these seasonings are perfect for me. Seasoned just right. Sometimes I do add a little bit more pepper, depending on, my own taste. But you can see it's simmering and it's starting to thicken already. So you want to bring your pot to a simmer, allow it to cook and thicken. Now I like to add potatoes to mine. This is totally optional. This is 1 potato that I just peeled and diced, and I'm going to boil the potato in lightly salted water for about 8 to 10 minutes until the pieces are nice and tender. Now I'm going to add this to my pot pie filling after I take it off the stove, because I don't really want the potatoes to thicken the sauce because of the starch. I want to just add it in a little bit later. So here it is. I took the pot pie filling off the stove. I'm going to add in those cooked potatoes. You just want to give everything a nice stir. Look how nice it looks. Taste it, adjust your seasonings, and you're good to go. So I allowed it to cool just a little bit, and you can see how nice and thick it is, but our filling is still thin enough to have that nice pot pie consistency. I'm using a 6-inch deep dish pie pans. I have a store-bought pie crust. I'm going to use 2 packages. And then I have this empanada cutter or maker that I have, and I'm going to use that. So you just want to unroll your pie crust. And this sat out for about 30 to 45 minutes so it's soft enough to actually use. So what I do, I cut 2, and these are going to be used for the top of the pot pie. And then I'm going to gather the leftover scraps and roll those out for the bottom. Because it's a deep dish pie pan, you want to make sure that you have a piece that's big enough to fit in the bottom and up the side. So Like I said, those ones that I cut, they're for the top. I'm going to push all the scraps together and just roll out those for the pie crust. And you'll find because we kind of folded the pie crust back together, it'll be even flakier and have more layers, which is perfect. So I'm just going to roll this out. I'm not trying to have a perfect circle. I just want to roll it out to make sure it's big enough. It does not have to be perfect. Okay. And store-bought pie crust is perfectly okay if you want to make it yourself. That is absolutely fine. I do have a recipe for pie crust when I make mine myself that I use. But sometimes, buying pie crust is perfectly okay. All right, so that looks big enough to me. We're going to go ahead and start to fit our pie crust into the bottom of our pie pan. And you can see I'm just pushing it into the crevices and making sure it comes all the way up the sides. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's perfect for me, and that's all that matters. So we're going to go ahead and start to fill our pie crust with our delicious pot pie filling. And I put a nice amount of filling into the pan. It's deep dish, and I want all the filling, okay? So incidentally, this batch will make about 5 deep dish, probably 6 or 7. If you were not doing deep dish, I use a couple of packs of the pie crust. All right, so for the top crust, I'm just going to roll it out just a little teeny bit. I don't want it to be too thin, but I want to make sure it does cover the top. So go ahead and place that right on top, and then I'm just going to press my pie crust together, just like I'm doing here. And then we're just going to fold the pie crust over. I fold it this way. Whatever way you like is better. You can also use a fork if you want to crimp the edges. I like that nice thick crust around the outside, so I like to fold it just like I'm doing here, and this looks perfect. I'm going to take my knife and just run a nice little slit down the middle just to let any steam escape that needs to escape while our pies are baking. And this is what it looks like. Perfect. I love it. All right, so let's do another one with the other pie crust. You get 2 per pack, and like I said, I did use 2 packages. We're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to cut, and then we're going to gather the scraps. Totally the same thing. So easy. Now, because this makes 5, when I opened up the next pack, I didn't have to cut as many of the top crust. So I just cut one of the pie crust in half and just use both, one half for the bottom of one and one half for the bottom of another. So it worked out perfectly. All right, so just gather your scraps together the same way we did the first one. And we're going to do the exact same thing. So just roll out that bottom crust. I have a nice heavy rolling pin. Just roll it out till you think it's big enough, and then go a little bit more just to make sure that it's big enough. It stuck a little bit, but I really didn't think that I needed to use flour. If you need to use a little bit of flour, you can, just to keep it from sticking. But generally, I don't have too many problems, especially when I have my parchment paper down and I use this rolling pin. So just judge your situation. If you think you need a little bit of flour, just a little teeny bit. But if not, just do it like I'm doing here. All right, so like I said, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. We just want to make sure it's large enough to fit in the bottom of our pie pan and up the sides. And I think we're good to go. The shape is so funny to me. All right, so let's go ahead and press our pie crust into the bottom of our pie pan. And make sure we have our pie crust all the way up the sides. I like to press my thumb to see the crevices to make sure my pie crust is nice and tight in the pan. Don't worry about the pieces that hang over. It's going to be okay. And let's go ahead and fill our crust with this pot pie filling. Remember, fill it all the way to the top. Make sure you have plenty of filling. Plenty of that nice sauce. This looks so good. I cannot wait till y'all try it. It's so good. All right, so let's grab one of our top crusts that we cut. Remember, we just roll it just a little bit, just a little teeny bit, just to stretch it out and make sure the crust fits all the way over the top of our filling. There we go. Place it right on top and then just fold. So just fold it right over into the center. This is the way I do it. I like that nice thick crust. You can use a fork if you like and cut off the excess. Or you can crimp the edges to make it look pretty. It's totally up to you. All right, so that looks good. There we go. There's another one. Do the same thing with the knife. Cut a nice slit down the center and a couple on the side. Let all that steam escape while our pot pies are baking. And I'm going to do the same thing. This will make 5. And then I'm just going to transfer my pot pies to a parchment-lined baking sheet just like I have here. Now I'm going to put an egg wash on half and not on the other half so you can see the difference. The egg wash just gives the crust a little bit of a brown, nice golden brown color. So the egg wash is just 1 egg and about a tablespoon or 2 of water. Just whisk it together. And then we're just going to brush the entire top with the egg wash. I'm going to do this for 3 and then leave 2 just plain. I just want to show you all the difference. It looks, you'll see, it's not too much of a difference, but there's a little bit more browning that occurs with the ones with the egg wash. All right, so these are looking good. We're going to pop our pot pies in a 350-degree oven for about 45 to 50 minutes where they're nice and golden brown. They are ready to come out of the oven. They're going to smell amazing. You're going to want to take them out sooner because you're going to be ready to enjoy them. But just give them that full 45 to 50 minutes. If they start to brown too fast, take them out. Your oven may be hotter than mine. So just judge it, as it's baking. So these are our pot pies ready, half with egg wash, half without. Let's pop them right in our oven. And then after about 45 to 50 minutes, this is what they look like. This is with the egg wash. The one in the back is without. Not too much of a difference, but you can see there's a clear browning that the ones with the egg wash have. They both taste exactly the same, exactly amazing. So anyway, hopefully you all give this recipe a try. Let me know in the comments how you like it, and I will see you on the next video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Love you all.